Kelz is 21-year-old Kelly Truong, a Vietnamese American who has just released her debut album, 5 a.m. and I Can't Sleep. We find her in Southern California, where she spends her time making songs at 5 in the morning.
And if you're wasting time with me, we'll never make it right past 3. See the picture with black and white. Oh my God, do I have to try?
It's 5 a.m. and I can't sleep. I'm surprised we're not talking when it's 5 a.m. there. I get the feeling from listening to the songs, you do everything in the middle of the night.
I did, yeah. That the whole project, it was based on this concept of me making these songs late at night. I've always been a huge night owl, and I think for me too, especially during the day, families at home, it's kind of hard to create while everyone's doing their own thing. So for me, I always found like peace and solitude making it at night, late at night. And ironically, I did have to kind of whisper at times when I record my vocals. So that's why I guess that's how I kind of got that airy kind of voice in my vocals. But yeah, the whole concept was me making these songs till around 5 a.m. Actually, I would start late at night, maybe around midnight.
Yep.
And I would start being in the zone and just creating until, ironically, I would look at the clock and I would see it's 5 a.m. and I would tell myself that I should probably go to sleep.
Right.
But for the most part, I would kind of export these little demos to my phone. I would go to bed and listen to them on repeat just to get the ideas flowing. But ironically, I would not be able to sleep just because
really,
I'm just really into the zone. I'm really excited for what these songs are gonna become.
Right.
But besides that whole idea too, I've always just been a huge insomniac. I feel like late nights, those are the times where you feel the most vulnerable. You're feeling a lot of things after a day, and sometimes you're just things going on in your life that you just tend to ruminate on. So that's why I can't sleep.
So you're to elaborate on your creative process when you're in the middle of the night there, are you writing or are you producing or performing to the computer? What exactly is going on? Have the songs already been written or is that part of the process?
It's like a mix of all those things. So I do produce and write the lyrics and songwrite during the whole time too. I think for me, most of these songs at the time I was creating, I do tend to think in loops.
Right.
So I start maybe like a four bar loop and I just kind of build on layers on top of it. That's how I tend to create most of the time. I'm someone who likes to think that less is more too. So I think for me, I tend to structure my songs by stripping some elements away at first too. And then kind of build them, bringing them back in later on. That's just the way I think that's the way I thought around that time when I made the songs. But I did love bringing in these electronic elements and also these guitar elements too. There's something really beautiful about that, especially since those are some of my favorite type of sounds as well.
Cool. So it begins, speaking of guitar, with Guitar and Peaches is the opening track, and you've got a video that you've made about that. What can you tell me about how that came to be?
Well, I think I started writing that song specifically, technically in 2019. I think before this whole project came about, I never thought about making like an EP or like an album. I was just making each song as it came by. And for Guitar and Peaches is very interesting. Same thing. That was a very loopy song, and that one took a while. And I remember thinking that was probably one of my weirdest songs structurally compared to their songs on the album. But I always loved how trancey it was to me in terms of like the structure and also some of the elements I did, such as I think I looped my own voice in that, which I think was pretty catchy to me. But I think in terms of like the video, for example, that was filmed around the time of the pandemic.
Right.
And that around that time, everyone was in isolation, right? I think for me, I kind of revived my dad's old video cassette camera. This
Right.
The Sony TRV-20. The quality is, it's not very modern anymore, but I think, I don't know, it was just so fun to have something in your hands, compared to like our iPhones today.
Yeah, but now
And
we're all shooting with these.
yeah, exactly. It's too clear, right? It's too
Yep.
clear. But yeah, I think I just had some fun around that. I paid homage to my dad and my grandfather, who used to film me with that camera growing up.
Right.
And so around during the time of 2020 especially, I would go around like road trips a lot by myself, just going to like very isolated places. I loved catching sunnies a lot, sunsets,
Yep.
which I call, and yeah, just going to these new places and just kind of trying to explore. And around the time I would try to film little glimpses here and there, which I think to audiences it might be very random, but I don't know. Guitar and Peaches is a very random song, so I feels just
There you go. Yeah, and I think somebody's noted you're looking through some CDs during the video as well. And
Yes.
was it a Grimes and a Snail Mail CD?
Yeah, that's right.
See?
Yeah, I think that day I was at Amoeba Music Store in Los Angeles here.
Yep.
And those were the two that I picked up that day. And I was
you
just
just got
showing to the
'em.
camera what I got. Yeah. That was my haul during that day. Yeah.
Yeah, but that just goes to show how everybody kind of examines and pores over the details of what you do when you think it's just a random thing. They're like trying to figure out what the CD is and blah, blah, blah. So a lot of pressure.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I just got a couple more CDs the other day.
Oh, what'd you get?
I just came back. I just got back from San Francisco. I got Toro y Moi's newest album, Mahal.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And I also got the new Melody Echoes Echo Chamber CD.
Yeah, I like those. Yeah, that's good stuff. Excellent. Yeah. And so is the CD your preferred format of choice?
Yeah, it's my preferred because growing up I couldn't really afford vinyl, to be honest. So I think CDs were the most budget friendly for me at the time. Yeah.
All righty. Now you mentioned that you had there's footage of you that your father and your parents or whoever shot some stuff. And is that what's in the My Friend video?
So I think there's the mid part, the bridge. Yep. There is some old footage of me back when I was like 3 or 4 years old, and that was like some footage that my father shot of me when I was younger, and it was very interesting looking back at that footage. I think growing up, my dad's side, we were never very musical, to be honest. Right. I think the closest thing we had was just like some Vietnamese karaoke songs I would play whenever I go to my grandma's house. But yeah, I mean, I think I always loved playing with toys and being very hands-on. Right. So I think my parents, when they bought me those toys, I just tend to like be very geared towards them. Right. But it was very interesting looking back at myself when I was younger. Yeah, I just always loved playing fake guitar and pretending I had like a microphone. It's very interesting, and like looking back where I am today, I never thought I would actually be playing guitar live on stage to people. So when did that happen? When did you make the transition from air guitar to real guitar? Technically last year. Really? I think last year I think I played a couple of shows just in my area here, just for a couple of friends, just testing things out. But then this year, I think my first official show was in Texas at South by Southwest. Oh yeah, how was that? It must have been exciting. It was amazing. It was so amazing. I think when I look back at that time, I was only there for about 5 days, but it was such a life-changing experience. Everyone there was just so warm and welcoming. And I didn't really tell a lot of people that was my first time performing. But I remember I felt so many nerves at first before I got on stage.
Right.
But once I got on stage and I saw who was there, it just felt so at ease, and I felt like that was what I was supposed to do.
Right. I assume you perform solo. You don't have a band playing with you.
Yeah, at this point right now, it's just me right now. But yeah, it's very interesting being solo. There is a lot of pressure, but
Yeah.
I do feel like I am more hands-on, which I do love. It is
Right.
very cool being able to interact with my songs even more in depth with that. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to talk a little bit about "Nice to See You." I love the like twangy sound that you got in there. What is
So much.
that? The guitar or what's happening there?
Nice to see you. Pleased to meet you. Did you notice the flowers above my head?
That's actually my electric bass, actually.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. Someone has pointed that out. Yeah, that's my bass actually. I think with when I was producing, I did add this kind of chorusy effect to it, which should add some of that twang. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
love how kind of Western it sounds too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can play the
there's something-
Americana Fest next.
I'll play anywhere at this point, but it's just so cool. I think there's something very romantic about, especially that riff as well.
Right.
Because to me, that song is like a love song, basically, to the people I met and said goodbye to. But yeah, that song, I think I really do love playing that song live. It is really fun to sing and play.
And it sounds like the next track, 5 a.m., kind of is a continuation almost of that. Do you think in terms of what's going to happen from one to the other track and how they fit together?
Yeah, definitely. I think, just listening to some of my favorite artists and the way that they kind of curate their album, I love making those seamless transitions for sure. I think from Nice to See You to Lover, actually, there are some repeating elements that kind of transition through. I think for Nice to See You to 5 a.m., I think I wanted to recreate like a timeline where you're listening to the song at sunset and then time is going towards the nighttime. I think 5 a.m. that was my first instrumental track mainly. And yeah, I just wanted something that just kind of flowed. I wrote that song in the span of a couple late nights after my grandfather passed away, and and I think that it was just very healing for me to write that song.
Right.
Yeah, especially after such a happy track from Nice to See You.
Right. So I just interviewed another female artist who's still a teenager, and she had trouble like doing gigs, getting into places because she was too young. Do you have that problem?
Not anymore, thankfully. I just turned 21 last
congratulations.
November.
I wasn't quite sure.
So I've never had to deal with that. I think compared to like my other peers, if I did start playing live sooner, I probably would have had to deal with obstacles like that too. But it is interesting. It is definitely interesting transitioning from creating my bedroom to a live setting. There are a lot of different things I'm learning, and especially interacting with different people too.
Right. Now the record is coming out on the Bayonet label, is that right? And my understanding is they initially rejected you. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did. I think that's such an interesting story. Yes, around the time of late November of 2020 to early December, I had all these songs as demos kind of in hand already. And originally I always wanted to release these songs independently first. I never thought about going the label route, to be honest. But I just wanted to give it a shot. I'm a big what if person. I think it would always be in my mind if I don't ask. So I kind of poked around at different labels to see if they would fit these type of sounds too. And one of them was Bayonet. I just sent them a little cold email saying that, hi, my name is Kelly. I have these demos here. Think you guys would like it. Yeah, and I just asked them, like, if you guys are interested, I'd love to talk. I think 2 weeks later, they replied to me saying it's really great, but they're just not looking for anything right now. Which
Right.
I respected, and I was like, this is cool. I was really happy that I even got a reply in the first.
Sure.
place.
Yeah. That sounds
Yeah,
nice.
I really appreciate that, and it's just so ironic too. I think the past week before I got that reply, I think I ordered the Yule Serotonin 2 CD from their website just because I'm a huge fan of their work.
Right.
And then but never did I think they would actually reply to me. I think, but the day after they initially rejected me, I think I woke up the next morning. I got another reply saying that, hey, like, sorry for the backlash, but I just can't get this song Guitar and Peaches out of my head, and they just love to get to know me and connect. I remember that day I think I just like woke up. I was about to get ready for class, and I think I read that email, and I was so shocked and surprised.
Right.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of threw up a little bit, because I was so because I was just so happy and excited. I was like texting like my friends, but yeah, I was totally fine after.
Oh, that's good.
But the next day, like, yeah, we're just on a call with each other, getting to know each other. And yeah, they were always so lovely since the beginning. And we've always kept in touch since then. I got signed to them. I officially signed with them in March of 2021.
Right.
And yeah, but now like those guys, they're like one of my best friends.
Cool.
Yeah, I love those guys so much. And they've been here to hold my hand and guide me through this insane, crazy journey since then.
Ever been down to this part of the world? Australia, New Zealand?
No, I would love to, because I'm a huge fan of Kiwi music and like Australian music.
So what Kiwi music do you know? I hate to put you on the spot.
I absolutely, I know it's very cliche, but I do love Lord so
I knew you were
much.
going to say Lord. Well,
I
why
love
not?
Lord. I love Lord. I mean, I grew up with her. She was one of the people that inspired my writing and the
Right.
production too. I've seen her like multiple times. I think I took a picture with her once. I was just so starstruck when I was like
Nice.
14. But besides Lord, I do love Broods. I love their production, their electronic element. And but I think another more recent band, I do love Leisure a lot for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you're onto it. Very good. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
you have to come down here when you get a chance and do some shows.
Would love to, yeah. It will be so sick to travel down there. Yeah.
Very good. All righty.
All right. Thank you so much, Marty. It was really
Thank
great
you.
meeting. All right.
You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.